I'm Lise Leblanc, therapist, author, and life coach, and one of my community members pointed out the fact that although there are many videos identifying the traits and manipulation tactics of a female covert narcissist, there are not a whole lot of tips and techniques on how to deal with it other than leaving the relationship and going no contact, which is not always possible. So in today's video, I will give you 10 tips and strategies that you can use to help you navigate a relationship with a female covert narcissist. What you will find in a relationship with a covert narcissist is that you go from being her hero and the solution to all of her problems to a big fat zero who is the cause of all of her problems. Anytime you try to bring up a need or concern, she takes it as a personal attack. Anytime you disagree with her, you're seen as the enemy. And soon you will feel like you're navigating a minefield of emotional manipulation. It becomes very clear that any attempt to assert yourself or express a differing point of view will be met with defensiveness, blame shifting, gaslighting, guilt tripping, triangulation, or outright hostility. You may find yourself constantly walking on eggshells, carefully choosing your words and actions to avoid setting her off, which always ends with her being the victim. And the more you fight this victim narrative, the more you will be punished and the more she will see you as the enemy, feeling fully justified in protecting and defending herself against you. In her mind, you are the antagonist in her carefully crafted victim story. She will twist your words, reinterpret your actions, and manipulate situations to fit this narrative where she is perpetually the innocent and abused victim. If you find this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And please consider joining my community where you will get some special perks. Okay, so here are 10 tips to help you deal with their denial, their attacks, criticism, and other defense mechanisms. Number one, the first step in dealing with these manipulation tactics is to educate yourself about covert narcissism and the manipulation tactics that they use. It is really easy to miss these tactics in the beginning of the relationship because covert narcissists choose empathetic partners who are understanding, compassionate, who want to protect and rescue them. And they also start out treating you as their hero, often love and sex bombing you, getting you addicted to them, then reinforcing this addiction through a push-pull cycle before they start demeaning and devaluing you. Their manipulations are also very subtle, wrapped in ambiguity, confusing language, and plausible rationales so that if you try to put yourself in their shoes, you will see their perspectives. But what you may fail to do is realize that she is not doing the same for you. It's important to recognize that NPD causes the brain to develop and operate differently, which causes fundamental differences in the way they perceive and interpret reality. They may look normal, but they do not function normally. So if you continue to try to use your thinking and your logic to understand their behavior, you will never be able to find your way out of the psychological maze that they create for you. Now, I'm not here to judge your reasons for being in this relationship, and I understand that you may be trauma bonded, but also realize that they have a mental disorder. So remember, if this isn't working for you, it's your responsibility to get the help that you need to break free. Otherwise, you may find yourself in a victim mentality, maybe even developing more serious mental health issues. Number two, avoid getting emotionally entangled and engaged. Realize that when the covert narcissist is triggered, whatever comes out of their mouth is an attempt to provoke an emotional reaction from you. They are trying to draw you into a vortex of their own psychological turmoil, hoping you'll get swept up in the intensity of their emotions. Somehow, making you feel bad makes them feel better. So stay calm, stay grounded, keep your emotional distance, and understand that depriving the narcissist of their ability to provoke you is a win for you. Number 3, use the jade technique to deal with their verbal gymnastics. Don't bother to justify, argue, defend, or explain yourself. You may be tempted to try to provide all of your reasons to help them understand your perspective. You may want to argue your points and defend yourself. But if you do it only once, because you will end up in circular arguments, confused by their word salads and gaslighting techniques, and you'll leave the conversation thinking, what just happened? And I get that it's only natural to want to be heard and understood, to want to defend your perspectives and actions. And it's just not going to get you anywhere with a covert narcissist. If they didn't hear you or agree with you the first or the second time, trust me, they won't get what you're saying the 100th time. Number 4, avoid falling into the trap of apologizing unnecessarily or promising to change just to regain her approval or affection. Instead, let her know that you value mutual respect and that silence, withholding affection, sex, or communication is not going to resolve anything. If you're not sure whether your partner is a covert narcissist, you may want to try the communication tips linked in the video above. Number 5, maintain firm boundaries. Recognize that changing the behavior of a narcissist is highly unlikely. So set boundaries to help protect your time, your space, and your energy. And also realize that once you set your boundaries, you can count on her breaching them. So make sure your boundaries are clear and enforceable, and don't get upset when they test your boundaries to see how far they can get or how much they can take. If you give an inch, expect that they will take a mile. When you're dealing with a covert narcissist, you need to rein in your empathy because they will use it to exploit you, often causing you to tolerate, enable, and accommodate their manipulative behavior for much longer than you should. Number 6, find ways to stay connected to reality. A narcissist will try to suck you into their maze of confusion. So when you leave interactions with them, find ways to get yourself tethered back to your reality. For example, talk to a trusted friend, journal, document your experiences, educate yourself about gaslighting techniques, see a therapist if you can. Do whatever it takes to not get sucked in. Number 7, be aware of your own emotional triggers and trauma themes and learn to manage your emotions and your behavior better. When the narcissist is trying to bait your emotions, instead of asking you why they are doing this, ask yourself how you can respond better. Number 8, don't use narcissist buzzwords to describe their character or their behavior. Don't call them a narcissist. Don't talk about how they stonewall, gaslight, or breadcrumb. Don't label them or their behavior in a negative context, even if they are diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. It's not helpful to label them. So instead, just describe their behavior specifically. Describe the patterns you're observing. And again, don't expect them to acknowledge, admit, or apologize. And if you're actually dealing with a covert narcissist, every conversation will end with them being the victim and you being the offender. Number 9, develop healthy coping strategies and practice self-care. Interactions with a covert narcissist are psychologically draining. So take the time to recharge, whatever that may be for you. Exercise, meditation, visiting a friend, anything you can do to refill your tank. Otherwise, you will end up on empty. Number 10, set realistic expectations. Always remember that they need to be the victim at all costs. So don't expect them to change their view of themselves or of the world for you. If you're expecting your narcissistic partner to go back to the way they were at the beginning of the relationship, or to suddenly start communicating and behaving like a mature adult, then I hate to say it, but they are not the only one living in a delusional bubble. If you are struggling to break free from a toxic relationship, consider reaching out to a mental health professional in your area, and consider my toxic relationship recovery program that I linked in the description section of this video. If you found this content helpful, please like, comment, subscribe, and to learn more about the female covert narcissist tactics, please click on the link above.